This is AnsaldoBreda's failed high-speed train. Originally meant to serve the new high-speed line between Amsterdam and Brussels, this train had so many issues with safety and reliability that it was taken out of service indefinitely after just 39 days of operation. After sitting in sidings for over 5 years, Trenitalia, the Italian national railway company, bought them for rock-bottom prices and have since introduced them to its high-speed train fleet. So how are these trains today? Let's find out as we make a journey from Milan over to Venice. This is Milano Centrale. With its massive station building, this is truly one of the most grand railway stations in Europe. So let's go and check out this marvel of Italian railway pride. I mean, we have barely seen the station and it already looks like this. It's just amazing. The grand station building of today dates back to 1931 and is the largest in Europe by sheer volume. Heading inside, we'll find the station amenities, which consist of plenty of shops and restaurants, heading into the ground floor of the station, it gets a little less impressive. But you do want to head here if you haven't already got your ticket, as this is where the ticket offices as well as plenty of machines are located. Trenitalia has a large office here, which can assist you with your journey as well as help with ticket purchase. There are also offices from Trenitalia, who operates a large amount of regional services up in the Milan area, as well as Italo, a private high-speed train operator that also serves the route from Milano to Venice. The trains are located upstairs, so let's head to the escalator. On the intermediate level, you'll find plenty of shops and restaurants, including some of the finest Italian cuisine. But continue heading up and we'll get to the even grander train shed. And as we arrive up here, you will find plenty of departure boards that can help you locate where your train is leaving from. However, track numbers are usually only assigned about 10 to 15 minutes before departure, so we still have some time to kill. But I have waited for trains in worse places than this. Milano Centrale has platform access gates, but they are pretty much always open and you don't have to show your ticket, you can just walk straight through. At least it's been this way for the last few years. Hiding under the station canopy, you will find everything from Trenitalia's regional trains to stylish high-speed trains like the Swiss one on our right or the departing Italo high-speed train on our left. Trenitalia also served the station with their slightly more successful high-speed trains. And with platform 13 now being announced for our train, let's go and have a look at this slightly less successful high-speed train in Trenitalia's fleet. Access to the platform is straightforward. You can simply just rock up to it and board the train at your leisure. And here we are at our train, the 1545 Fyra service, bound for Venice. Originally built for the Belgian and Dutch high-speed corporation, this is the AnsaldoBreda V250 high-speed train, capable of, you guessed it, 250 km per hour. And as we'll be departing soon, it's about time we head on board the train. All seating on board is reserved and is indicated by your ticket. Today I will be traveling in business class and have reserved a seat in carriage number 1. I've selected seat number 12 Delta, one of the solo seats. Our train departs Milano Centrale right on time at 15:45. We quickly leave the beautiful station building behind and start navigating the complex track layout immediately north of the station. Here we pass by another one of these high-speed trains that Trenitalia calls the ETR 700. we soon begin turning east, heading towards Verona and Venice. And with that, let's take a closer look at the route map for today's journey. We are catching Frecciarossa train number 9741, which starts in Milano Centrale and makes 6 intermediate stops as we cross northern Italy on our way to Venice Santa Lucia station, where we arrive after having covered 268 kilometers in 2 hours and 33 minutes, giving the train an average speed of 105 kilometers per hour. Despite this being a high-speed train, the line between Milan and Venice is mostly just conventional track, allowing for speeds to up to about 200 kilometers per hour. However, Italy is currently building a high-speed line from Milan to Venice, and the first section is already open from just after Milan, which we enter here, and this allows our train to begin accelerating up towards its top speed of 250 km per hour, which our train reaches fairly soon, and we can follow along and check our speed on the internal screens inside the carriage. Shortly after, the complimentary service in business class starts, with a small snack box and some water. The rest of the high-speed line towards Verona and Venice will be built in stages and should be completed over the coming years, with the last segment being expected to be completed by 2027. This however means we soon leave the high-speed line again, as we come into our first station stop at Brescia, where we will now be travelling along conventional lines for the remainder of the journey. We make a short stop here to exchange passengers, and our train quickly gets going again. And I think it's about time we have a look at the train's interior. Starting all the way at the back of the train, where the door into the driver's cab has been left open. Moving through to business class that's laid out with these grey seats in a 1+2 layout. Towards the end of the carriage you will find some luggage space. Moving into the second carriage is where you'll find the accessible toilet, as well as more business class seating. Am I the only one that thinks the color scheme here is really boring? There's basically not any color, and the lighting is a bit drab as well. Anyway, as I make my way down to carriage number 4, we'll find the onboard bar. Here you'll of course find a proper coffee machine, as well as snacks, drinks and sandwiches on offer. From here we continue into the much better looking standard class, that actually has a bit of color, and I much prefer the interior here. Just be aware that the window alignment here can be quite poor. And of course we also gotta do a little toilet review. The door here wasn't exactly working, so accessibility doesn't get many points. There is a locking mechanism and it's simple, which also didn't quite work. The water was working and there was some soap, and the dryer is working. But in general, this is not in the best state, so it could get the job done, but honestly there's still some flaws and technical issues here that need solving, so do better, Trenitalia. And the poor state of the toilet also kinda represents the troubled history with these trains. Originally meant to be delivered in 2007 to the Dutch and Belgian railways, delays and production and technical issues led them to first entering service in 2012. This lasted a whopping 39 days, when they then had to be pulled from service due to extremely poor reliability as well as safety concerns. This was the last time the trains ever ran in service in the Benelux countries. The trains then sat unused for years before Trenitalia picked up the scrap and introduced them on select services in Italy. Here they have served Trenitalia since 2019, and while the reliability and overall condition of the train still isn't great, at least they seem to be providing some value here. But are they comfortable? Let's find out. The business class seats have a nice large tray table, but there's no storage pocket. There's also a small bin, as well as a power outlet, with some USB ports as well. The seat is fairly comfortable, a bit on the harder side, but good enough for a 2.5-hour journey. Above the seat there's also space for luggage, and the seats also do recline a slight bit. However, in business class there's still seats without a window. And just like that, we were already approaching Venice Santa Lucia station, after a pretty comfortable journey on board these ETR 700 trains. Tickets with Trenitalia between Milan and Venice on the high-speed trains can be found for as little as €20 if booked in advance, but be aware prices vary based on time of booking and demand, so make sure to book ahead if you want a good deal. Our train arrives into Venice Santa Lucia station at 18:12 after a comfortable and uneventful journey on these otherwise pretty troublesome trains. Thank you so much for joining me on this trip. If you have enjoyed this video, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, as I try to post a new one like this every Sunday. You can also follow me over on Twitter at IntercitySimon. I usually post live from my travels over there, so it's a great place to get a sneak peek at what videos might be coming to the channel in the future. Thanks for watching.